I got fired from working at Red Robin for doing that. When do we get to bury him in a thing and jerk off on him, though?
I'd say I can take on 311.
And he clicks the button, and he's just this woman cussing him the fuck out. This is the weirdest theory I've ever heard in my entire life. Well, in a lot of ways, Big Boy has never left. I agree. He will tell you I'm a bad driver, but there's no evidence for that. I have intuition, and I'm deep, and then, dude, people fall for absolute monsters on a regular basis.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the Two Hippies, One Drunk podcast. We switch off hosting duties between me and my two good comic friends, Eric Fady.
Hello.
And Tyler Charles.
Right here.
And this week, it is my week to host. Right before we get to that, though, I wanted to mention our promotion that we're still doing, where once every week we do a drawing of anybody who's given us a 5-star review on iTunes. You send us the screenshot of it with a comment as well. You can either get a free tarot reading from me or pick from 2 of Tyler's art pieces.
Yeah,
for free.
You get a 10x8 picture for free.
Yeah,
of my art.
Yeah,
Some of them are cool.
It's good to do it.
Some of them are cool.
Yeah.
This is fake humility.
Scott seems to be starting to be a kind of a Red Bull guy. I never pictured him as a Red Bull guy.
Oh, I've always been, dude. Honestly, any sort of upper.
Yeah. No, I like them. I've stopped drinking energy drinks, but I've stopped drinking energy drinks like people. Like I feel like how for me giving up energy drinks is like people that give up cigarettes. Like I liked them a lot. Like I had very specific brands I got because I always liked the purple flavor. There was a thing called Venom that was always 99 cents.
Venom
they had a purple flavor.
Venom sounds like it will put you at cardiac arrest.
Yeah, I mean I drank them a lot back in the day. But like I miss them. But I have forced I think I'm going on almost 3 years of very few. Like I've had like 3 this year. The whole. But my point is I miss them though. Like I liked everything about them. I like again when people talk about cigarettes, it was like the ritual of it. Like because usually when I was doing it, it meant I was like going out for a Saturday night or doing comedy or something, and I'd get that can and it'd be cold and I'd crack it and oh my god.
No,
but Red Bull to me is you're about to have a relapse.
I know, dude. I fucking want one right now.
I feel like that sometimes with like Coke cans, where if I haven't had a Coke in a while, where it's like, man, I want that fresh cold. Like
yeah.
See, I have evolved past Coke. I haven't had a Coca-Cola in years.
Wow,
good for you.
Red Bull's probably worse, but
it's worse.
Yeah,
it's like I gave up cocaine and moved on to meth. Like
right. I mean, you just sped up the process.
Right.
But it's like I do miss it. Like when I did comedy, that's the biggest thing. I would like. It wasn't like that I needed it. I never felt like it wasn't like a drug to me, but it was more just like where I'm from. I always had to drive places. Like you guys were lucky when you're in Grand Rapids. There's like. A lot closer places, but when I would do it, like I'd have to drive to Lansing or Detroit or these usually half hour, 40 minutes. So it'd be like I'd get in the gas station right before the highway and I'd get my, my energy drink and I'd play my pop punk music and the ritual of it. I miss that a lot actually.
Yeah, you say closer, but like I still managed to do a comedy show in Grand Rapids and not pull into my driveway until 3:30 a.m.
But that's
still a thing for sure.
That's different. That's different reasons. But
okay, so I got a lot to get to. So
sorry, yeah.
All right, no, good. Welcome to Popcast, where we talk about various carbonated drinks.
Yeah.
No, okay, so. I wanted to do another episode on bad opinion pieces, and we're going to just go ahead and jump right into it. I still, by the way, like when you say this, I instantly still think back to that lady from the first time you did this that just wrote an opinion piece on trying to justify why she killed her dog. Yeah. No, I honestly,
this podcast has a lot of dead dogs.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, totally. It's a constant. It's a running theme. But I got some that I feel like it'll stack up to that hope.
Okay.
All right. Some good ones. Okay, so this first one I wanted to do, there's a guy named Jeff Jacoby who is a Boston Globe writer.
Okay.
Who did a series of letters to his son. The first one to his son as a newborn. And then the letters get
Why is he
weirder
writing
and
this?
darker the older the kid gets.
Is he not in
and-
the kid's life or something?
Yes.
Is like so he's not in his life and he's writing in
No,
these-
he is in his life.
Why is he writing the letters? Why didn't he just tell him?
Because he's a hacky Boston Globe writer.
And he thinks that this is like something that everyone can relate to. If you have
Yeah.
a son, this is something that you could do or whatever.
Yep.
And really, really underestimated the way your relationship tends to turn as children get older.
Right. Yeah, that is
Into
true.
their teen years.
You mean when they can think for themselves and are actual human beings?
When they're like, "Oh my God, my dad is just this fat Boston Globe writer." Like,
Right,
what did I
right.
get into? Okay, so gonna start out. It's gonna, got to set a little bit of context. So these first letter or two, just we'll get into it. A message to my newborn son, my beloved Caleb. Oh, my beautiful little son, I have such hopes for you. I hope you will love words and be quick with numbers and have a knack for science. I hope you will make good grades in school.
Wow,
and
there's
make good
already a
money
lot
at
of
work."
fucking pressure, by
Yeah,
the way. A
yeah.
lot of bullshit here. Like,
Why are you putting all that
Like,
on me,
what-
Dad?
Yeah,
nothing in here about being happy or I hope you'll be healthy.
Yeah,
I
I hope you could do whatever you want. Like I will support it.
yeah. I actually just finished looking through this list I was reading. Happy is not in there. That is
No, he
that is
doesn't give a
very
shit
good
if he's
one.
happy. He mad if he's a scientist and if he's good at academics.
Yeah, this kid is 16 days old at this point too.
16
Like
days.
he is missing no time.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
he came out, the doctor slapped his ass, and he's like, "I hope that you're a scientist one day."
Right.
Here's a book. Read
Right,
it.
here's a book.
I'll expect a report by next week on the on the on the scientific method.
Oh, that's funny.
You are so tiny, little one. You have so much growing to do. As I cradle you in my arms or watch you sleep in your crib, I pray that life brings you vigor and health, delight and fortune.
Okay.
you just kind of a little bit.
There's something.
the delight in for that's kind of like happiness.
Fortune, you could argue, is just he who hopes he has money.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you'll be able to take care of me in my old age.
Yeah. Hope you don't stick me in one of those like bag 'em and bid 'em homes.
Right.
Bag 'em and bid 'em. Oh, man.
16 days ago, you entered this world. One day, far in the future, I hope you will leave it. Okay. Why is he
Well,
hoping
he
his
means he
kid
says
dies?
far in the future, so I guess he's just saying
Why
he'll
are
be
you
as well.
bringing
I'll
up
give him the
death to a baby.
no, but I mean
One day,
everyone's
I
gonna
hope they
die.
make cyborg parts and you can just keep going
Yeah.
eternally forever.
Everybody's gonna die. It sounds like he says far in the future, so I'll give him.
That's fair. If I could wish for only one thing, it would be this: that
Here
you
we go.
leave it better than you found it. All my love, Papa. Okay.
Not a terrible ending,
No.
No.
considering the bad start that it had to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The list of things the kid has to do.
Okay. So this is a 1-year-old.
Yeah, he's got
What
a chores
already?
list really early, dude. Like that's the earliest chores list in history.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's not even like do the dishes. It's like get a degree.
yeah,
Yep.
no, it's God, no. It's not just kind of make your bed.
He's smart. You don't even know if this kid is on the spectrum yet. You don't know what kind of life he's gonna lead.
And that's funny you said that because I actually didn't include this because I didn't want it to be too long. But there is a letter, I think at 2 years old, where he's like, I don't know why you're not talking. I'm a little bit
Oh,
worried
boy.
that you're still not using words. So
Uh-oh.
you might be onto something with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 year old. My beloved Caleb. One already? Where did the year go? Wasn't it just a few weeks ago that you were a frail, cross-eyed thing? So
May I
scrawny
ask
that
Scott
even...
real quick, is he posting this in like the paper, whatever?
Yeah,
thing he
he's
has?
writing it for the Boston Globe, for the paper. So
Okay,
these are
all
being
right.
published in the paper.
Just wanted to clarify for myself.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're so scrawny that even newborn-sized diapers were too big for you. At the moment, your days are filled with bottles and naps and finding things to climb on and wondering what everything tastes like and pestering the cat. Yet, your mother and I know there is no time to lose. If we want you to wind up decent and honorable, the time to work on it is now.
Time is nigh. I mean, Jesus Christ.
This baby.
And
You're
yet me and Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It's just me and your mother have already like that, man. He's almost like, we let a year ago, okay, but now chop, okay.
Exactly.
They didn't
Like,
even.
we
It
gave
was-
you a year to fuck with the cat, and now
You had your year. You explored the house a little bit, took some naps, but now it's go time.
Books. Until you're dead.
Which is why it probably seems to you that the words you hear from us most often are no and don't. Don't pull on the plants. Don't splatter your food. Don't grab mama's files. You don't speak yet, and it's hard to
Like
tell if
some
you figure out.
resentments about this baby coming out, bleeding
Right.
into this.
I mean, again, I'm not trying to be. I'll give him some of that stuff because I think I would assume that any parent, he just happens to be writing this in the paper, but any parent, I assume, goes through. The kids are assholes, so
Yeah,
he just
absolutely.
happens to be writing it. Again, in his mind, hopefully, it's I'm
He's
just
being
saying.
cheeky or he's whatever. Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying he's scolding this kid.
The only thing
Putting on
and
blast.
publicly scolding him,
Yeah.
too, is the only other thing.
But
I would
everybody
say.
knows that everyone does that to their kids. I mean, the reality is
That's
the parents that don't say no to their kids are the ones that end up, I mean, so
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully this kid works out. So it's hard to tell if you figured out the meaning of those words or just the meaning of those words delivered in a certain tone of voice. Either way, plan on getting to know
along
them
with a strong
extremely
hand.
well. No and don't is what? No and don't are the very cornerstones of civilization, Caleb. Don't.
By the way,
splatter
Scott,
your
is there honest to God, I know that usually it's associated with beating women, so I don't want to go like that, but is there anything at times to me, I don't know what it is, but I get such a kick out of the idea of the back of the hand, like that kind of like gesture of just doing, one of these.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that too is like there was a bunch of stuff I had to cut for this.
Yeah.
But another thing was he does repeatedly return to the theme that his dad beat the shit out of him. And he
Oh,
will
okay.
not
Whoa.
slap Caleb.
So see,
And he wants to do it, and he
I didn't mean to read
No,
into
he
that.
will not.
Okay, but he thinks about it.
But he obviously thinks about it.
Yeah.
He's like, I get what he was doing now. I get it,
Yeah,
old
I
man.
understand the anger.
Can't write it in the paper. I got to be a little bit
Yeah,
more
yeah,
vague
yeah,
than
yeah.
that.
I'm gonna
Like-
use some like potatoes in a sack so it don't leave no bruises.
I would almost say I would maybe rather my dad beat me than scolded me publicly
Yeah,
in a national
that's rough.
newspaper.
That's for the rest of your life. You're the kid that said no to your parents.
Yeah, but I don't know. In
I
this,
mean, that's not that
when
bad,
did he
but I'm
write
sure it
these?
gets worse.
How old are these?
The first one is 1999.
Okay, so back then, I mean, most people wouldn't even know who he was in reality because
Yeah, and he could have been spanking his kids. I feel like
Yeah.
back in
You
'99.
might have.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're the cornerstone of civilization. Don't splatter your food. May not seem important, but it is only a first step. Waiter comes, don't hit, and don't lie. And before long, you shall not murder. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness.
I just imagine this guy reading this to his kid before he prints it, and that kid just being like, "I'm one."
and
My kids are
eventually
eating
no
boogers.
murder. Like Christ.
Yeah, why are you involving murder?
Yeah,
I mean,
gotta
it's
teach
true.
him
He
young.
does have to. He will eventually learn that you shouldn't
Yeah.
murder. But
Is his kid like fucking hurting small animals? Well, he is terrorizing the cat. Maybe he's
He is
worried that like
terrorizing the
he's
cat.
gonna kill.
Why not include? I mean, he includes 3 of the commandments. Like, what about making false idols? You got to tell him not to make any false idols.
Yeah,
I
really
mean, it
just
doesn't
do
necessarily
all
know
10
that.
of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
he hasn't said he's religious yet, I suppose. But
Yeah,
He's
these are his
extremely
own
religious,
commandments.
for the
Okay,
record,
okay,
for the record.
okay.
And I cut
Okay.
all the religious stuff pretty much, but he
Okay.
just
Yeah,
for
yeah.
context, extremely religious.
gotcha.
Your first year, with all its miracles, came and went so quickly. The second one is already whizzing by. Won't be long before you can catch that cat. All my love, Papa. Okay,
What are you
now
gonna do with the cat? I'm worried about this cat.
the next
I mean, it's
letter.
a kid going after a cat. Cats are, that's what you get with pets.
That's what you get with cats. Yeah.
The
that's
next
true.
letter. A world full of unsettling messages. My beloved Caleb, you gave me a real jolt a few nights ago. You had just gone into bed for the night, and I was sitting with you so we could talk for a few minutes before saying goodnight. Papa, you announced, I will get a gun.
What?
Oh boy.
What? Like the kid said, like, I will get a gun because he wanted a gun just to play with or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, yeah, he just said he'll get a gun.
Okay.
Couldn't have been more startling if your head had spun 360 degrees. Not that I am a gun hater. On
I
the
gotta take
contrary.
issue with that. I think that would be a little more startling.
Yes.
I don't
absolutely.
believe him.
He's attacking
just-
the cat, wants a gun.
Well, but I don't believe
Yeah.
that him just saying I want a gun would be the equivalent to if his head just spun around like The Exorcist. Like
Yeah, no. You
I
know,
think that
one is
one would
pretty
be a little more
typical-
extreme. I would
Oh, yeah,
believe.
totally. A little kid saying they want a gun, pretty typical. If he spun 360 degrees, like, that kid is dead.
Right. Right. I mean, so I don't know that I believe him
This
on
kid is
that
two, right?
and comparison or analogy.
He is 3.
Oh,
in
he's
this one.
3. Okay.
Yeah. I skipped around. I skipped a couple of them.
Yeah,
So we're
fair
just
enough.
jumping through his timeline. I couldn't have been, well, where I read that. Not that I am a gun hater. On the contrary, I think that in the hands of honest people, guns do more good than harm. But it's one thing to understand that intellectually, and something very different to hear, I will get a gun come out of the mouth of a child who is just turning 3. Especially
I
when the-
mean, again, though, like I don't know, unless he's showing other signs of something. Kids play with guns, I guess, toy guns.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I agree. Like, I've definitely...
Unless there's other things going on, but
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't even necessarily go in that direction. But I just included this one because I like that the letters continue to ramp up. Like,
oh no,
yeah,
I get it.
still
I understand it.
fairly
Yeah.
normal territory. I don't
Yeah.
disagree with you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm more holding issue with him.
Yeah,
like,
scolding is
saying like he's like I'm even good with guns, but this, my God, like dude,
Yeah,
what do you
I'm
think
sure.
little boys? I mean, it's very often to me, little
cops
boys are
and
like, give me a
robbers, man.
Nerf gun and stuff
Yeah.
like
Get him a
that.
Nerf gun. You are
Right.
totally right. Get him
Yep.
a Nerf
Yeah,
gun.
we'll get you. And it's 1999. Well, not
Oh,
probably
yeah.
2001. So you can definitely get yourself a Nerf gun.
Yeah. In Michigan, a first grade boy has shot and killed a first grade girl. A
Michigan,
gun-
woo!
Woo! We're number
100%.
one. We're number
We
one.
made it to we made it to this
We
story.
made it onto the list of killing people for no reason.
What was it? What happened again, though?
It's a
First
shooting.
grade boy shot and killed a first grade girl.
Man, when? God, that would have been 2001. I would have been old enough. I can't believe I don't remember that.
I feel like
Yeah.
it all like it's just 9/11 happened then, and you forget all the other stuff. that went down.
Maybe. I mean, maybe, but it's like, man, that's a year that I mean, I wasn't super into the news necessarily, but that seems like a crazy enough story that I would have
Oh, I
heard
agree.
that.
That's pretty nuts.
The only real crazy Michigan news story I remember from when I was a kid is, do you remember when there was that guy who got road rage and ripped some woman's dog out of its car
No,
on like a 50
no.
mile per hour road and just
Wow.
killed it?
Through it. Yeah, yeah.
No, I
We're-
didn't know that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
He like went to prison for years. And I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah,
right,
you
right,
don't do that.
right. That's interesting. No, I don't remember that. Maybe that was on the west side of the state.
Like
'Cause it's
you
like
cut
honestly,
me
we don't
off,
get
so I'll
the
kill your dog.
we don't get all the
Right.
news. Like in my news, in our news, like if it's on the other side of the state, it's like it has to be really big. You know what I mean? Like we don't often. Even
Yeah.
Lansing is kind of iffy. It's weird
Yeah.
how that news works. Like in the Detroit, because the Detroit metro area is such a big enough area that it doesn't really need to. They don't need to
Yeah.
go far to find enough things to fill tonight.
Also one of the murder capitals of the US. So they
right
got
at,
their
at
own,
times,
yeah.
right at times high up on that list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who could have put such an idea in your head? And then I remembered I did. Only the night before, I had been reading to you from your collection of Beatrix Potter stories. At the time, you seemed to be paying attention only to the rabbits, but the gun in this story evidently made more of an impression than I'd realized. So once I got over my shock the other night, I told you that farmers sometimes use guns to shield good animals from bad animals. In any case, I said guns were not for little boys. You were satisfied with that and haven't mentioned guns yet, but it was yet another reminder. Far less escapes you than I might imagine. All my love, Papa. Now, go ahead.
No, I guess I didn't have anything. I thought I was going to say something, and I was mainly going to say, I think just that this is unfortunately not a humorous observation as much as just I've never had a kid, but I would imagine once you do have a kid, there's a period that this guy kind of just went through where you're like, holy shit, these guys pick up way more than I realized. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you think they're
Yeah.
just dumb little muffins in the corner, and it's like, oh no, they fucking know.
Dumb little muffins in the corner.
They don't have
I mean,
anything to do
they are
besides, like-
sponges. They're absorbing all
Yeah.
that shit. That's
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
They're dumb
And it's what's
little-
weird about that is I feel like that's one of those things that like anyone can tell you, and until you actually go through it and you're like you could have
Yeah.
20, 50 people tell you, dude, just FYI, and it's like it's not going to be the same until you are really in that moment
Experience
yourself and experience it, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next letter is, where did our sweet boy go?
Oh, how many years
How many years into this? Yeah, how many?
I believe 8.
Okay.
Oh,
so it's
here we
8.
go.
Where did our little boy go? Because he's in the like. Well, it's not terrible twos. Isn't there one for like preteens?
I don't know if there's
Maybe
a
not.
word for it.
Okay, fair enough. Little shitheads.
Where did our
Yeah.
my beloved Caleb? I used to think I had this fatherhood thing down pat. For your first 5 or 6 years, you were such a charming and lovable kid. Friendly, bright, cheerful, affectionate, that I imagined Mama and I must be doing everything right. I figured we were natural born parents, the way other people are natural born pianists or natural born first basemen. But then, quite to my surprise,
First base.
first baseman. Yeah.
No one wants to be a
Said
first. Well,
naturally born to be.
Yeah.
Like, what is my
Second base.
purpose?
he probably
To
should have
be
just
a
said
first
athlete.
baseman.
He probably just could have
Right.
said athlete, but he's in Boston and baseball's big, so he did baseball. But he probably could have should have just said athlete, probably.
A
Yeah.
naturally born first baseman sounds like a way too complex way of calling somebody an incel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
But then, quite to my surprise, the sweet and lively Caleb we were so pleased to take all the credit for was abducted by aliens and replaced with a sulky, sarcastic grouch we didn't recognize.
Yeah, see, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing to me about this
Yeah.
is like my opinion on this is, dude, you would get this from I know what you guys are going to want to do, but my opinion would be like you'd get this from so many parents. What Scott said at the beginning is the real thing here. A parent started now I don't know if this guy's a douchebag or not. I don't know that. But the thing is he started a thing thinking this will be nice and it will, it's my little baby and he'll be able to read these someday. And like Scott said at the beginning, he forgot or didn't understand that kids grow up at some point and they develop a personality and you just
This
don't
is
know.
what I would say. This is what I would say. It is normal to a degree, but you call your 8-year-old kid a sulky, sarcastic grouch to like
Well,
a
he's
good
trying to
friend
write
when you're drinking and you're like, yeah, my kid's being a real asshole.
Yeah,
you don't
here's
post that in a public national newspaper.
Right. The problem is he's stuck in a place where he could have stopped the column in reality and just, that's the real thing to me. So the problem to me would be is like, once he's going to write it though, he can't, I don't know. It's a tough line.
You kind of have
So-
to keep going, right? Yeah.
well, he has to
you
keep
kinda
going
need
in a
doesn't
way that's
have-
entertaining.
I
Because
agree
he's still
with
having
you,
to
Eric,
entertain
like,
people.
parents.
No,
are,
he's still
yeah,
doing
you
it-
do go along that path of like,
Well, no,
oh, you
but not
love
just that,
them
but
and-
once he's doing this, he technically has a job. I mean, his job is not just to entertain himself.
Yeah.
It is to
he has committed to that.
and
And that's a pretty epic life thing to choose to do too. Like every year you got to make a thing about your kid, even when you hate him.
I would say
I'm
I
not
don't know.
trying. It's weird. I'm not trying to defend him because usually my way would just be assume he's a douchebag, and he probably is. By the way, I'm just trying to see it from a different side.
Does he put the kid's name in there?
Yeah, Caleb.
Okay, Caleb. Yeah. So he's,
and-
he's
Okay,
straight up
here's the thing I would
blasting
say. You clocked it right away, first of all, that he is an extremely demanding parent.
Right.
in a
No,
lot
that's
of ways.
that I believe
Talking to his-
100%.
Because that's the context. It's that, and it's no. You know what? Yeah, you're a Boston Globe writer. You don't have to be publicly like roasting your kid.
Shaming your kid.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. I would say, like, seriously, like, calling it an 8-year-old a sulky, sarcastic grouch, and like, it's not Eminem performing Kim,
Yeah.
but it's heading in that ballpark where you're like, what are you? You're taking this like private thing and you're
And blasting
blowing it
out.
out to the world.
Yeah,
You're-
no, he could. I thinking about it again, he could probably still write it in an entertaining way. that was
Abducted by aliens.
no, the adopted by aliens. I'm fine with. To me, to be honest, I think that's something that parents could all understand.
Relate to.
But
Yeah.
probably what the phrasing that Scott kept referring to, the what was it? What was the phrasing that you kind of repeated a few times there?
My beloved Caleb.
No.
Or
It-
sulky, sarcastic Grouch?
yeah, that.
Yeah.
I would say he could probably have done that in a way
Pulled
that was
back.
more charming, in a sense that every parent could get it, but not really being,
Yeah, that seems kind of brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm rethinking about it. I think he could have done that a little bit better. I don't mind the alien thing to me because, again, I think any parent could probably, especially
Relate
once you
to
get into
that.
your
Like,
teen
where did my kid
teens.
go? Kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, oh my God, they used to want to be around me all the time. Now they don't even want
Mhm.
to talk to me.
Yep.
Over the course of the past year, Mama and I.
There's a
have
reason he's
repeatedly-
a sulky. Sorry to interrupt you, because you're putting all that pressure on him.
No, I get it. I agree. I actually by the way, I 100% agree. There's no question that
I'm
this
on the
dad
kid's
is
And
some
at this
guy.
point, is he like, oh God, what is the letter Dad's gonna write this time?
Well,
Well,
the
now
kid,
he's
I don't
old
know.
enough.
I wonder at 8 if he would be paying
No.
attention. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
His
he
dad's
prob-
reading this to him. His
Yeah,
dad's reading this to him, probably being like, America agrees with me.
yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, go
yeah,
ahead.
that's a rough thing.
Over the course of the past year, Mama and I have repeatedly found ourselves wondering, who are you and what have you done with our son? As splendid as you so often are, Caleb, you can also be quite awful. At times,
Yeah,
Your
it says that
manners.
every kid.
once again, not in a national newspaper.
Mhm, mhm.
Honestly, not
You-
even to your
you be
kid.
like,
That's
yeah,
kind of
my kid's being
That's shit
awful.
you think. You don't tell
Yeah.
your kid you're awful.
Or you're
Yeah, no, I
drinking
agree.
with your
I agree.
friends and your kid's asleep and you're like, he's been a real asshole.
Well, he's going through a phase or something. You say that, or whatever.
Yeah, you don't call him awful to him.
At times, your manner is shockingly disrespectful. You mimic Mama and make faces when I scold you. You respond to criticism by laughing or rolling your eyes. Or you mutter whatever with all the disdain at your command.
Yeah,
You
I've done
get
all that.
surly-
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
100%.
down with this kid.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this kid's in the right.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely not saying that.
Because he's 8.
Yeah. You get surly or angry and you snap at us rudely. You've even written poison pencil notes and left them for us to find.
What?
Things like, I hate you. You're a bad mother.
Oh, that's
shit.
pretty bad. Their kid might be a little off the deep end. What's going on with him?
If I
No,
didn't
I
know-
get it. I get where he's coming from.
I never wrote I hate you to my parents.
I didn't either, but no, I mean, I
that it?
said it though. I think at times, I think when you're getting when I was getting punished or something,
Yeah.
you're a kid. I
But
would have said it
Leaving
for
little
sure.
notes for your parents.
No,
around the house
not
and
that.
Say fuck you, you son.
No, but I get it because his dad, dude. The reality is that you guys, again, I think sometimes I feel like I have to be I don't have to be, but I try to be the person
The voice of
between you
reason.
guys that looks at the other side because I know where you guys will tend to go. So sometimes I do that stuff and I'm not really giving my real opinion. The real opinion is I'm sure that this dude is a uber douchebag. He works for the Boston Globe and he's not really a good enough writer that he's writing like
Yeah, the
news
writing's
stories.
not
He's
great.
doing op-eds and things like this. So he is
He's doing
just
an op-ed on himself.
that's okay, but he's doing my point is though he's not good enough that he's doing serious news stories. So I'm sure he's got some insecurities there. He clearly, like at the very beginning, mentioned about being smart and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, is writing the notes a little crazy? I can't believe he's putting this in there. Like this is that's not the same because he's not talking about killing his kid, but that's a very close to Scott to the lady with the dog. The idea that he's writing this in the paper, I don't know what he's thinking people are going to think.
Yeah.
They're going to probably
Yeah.
think he's a bad parent versus the kid.
Yeah.
Probably.
Are you gonna get into like people's reactions to it?
No,
Like,
no.
Okay. You do you know if people were mad about it or anything?
I mean, this is a fairly once again, I'm not the first person ever to point out the insanity of these letters.
Okay,
Like
got
this has been
It's out
this is
there
the
that
thing
some people,
make
yeah.
fun
Yeah.
of. Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
If I didn't know you had just turned 8, I'd think you were going on 14. Behavior like this, I wasn't expecting till you hit adolescence. If this is the way you act in 2nd grade, what are you going to be like in high?
I mean, I
once
kind of agree.
upon-
The kids acting crazy for
8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 is still like you should be their hero. You should still like they should still be like looking
Yeah,
up to you.
that kid's seen and heard some shit though.
Yep. Yeah, something's happened.
Once appalled to learn that you
And I should say, by the way, I don't mean in an abusive way per se. Honestly, and not in a physical way. I think mentally and
Yeah, no, something's
possibly
happened.
abusive, but
Maybe, yeah, it could even be like, an emotional abuse. The dude is pressuring him to do all this shit and stuff.
And actually, the funny thing is again, in life, so often, especially these days, it seems like we always forget that there's not black and whites and there's like obviously gray lines.
Yeah.
You can be doing, I do believe you can be doing emotional abuse and not like per se you're trying to be abusive.
Yeah.
Even though it's still wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say these are like letters that he believed that were loving that are really just like you are dunking on your own kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
very
he's
misguided.
probably a douchebag, to be honest with you. But I'm just saying, like, I think there is people sometimes don't need to. There's like 3 lines. There's actual physical abuse, and that's always meant. No
Yep.
offense, like for the most. I mean, sort of minor, like, yo, hey,
Intentional.
come on, get in line here. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
and then there's there's obviously emotional abuse that's much more purposely done, or at least they kind of, and then there's stuff that, just putting way too much pressure on a kid, having way high standards for an 8-year-old already, that maybe in your mind you're not trying to be mean, but you are fucking with him. And that's probably where he is, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and like I said, I have no doubt that every time he writes one of these, it's like, all right, come in, Caleb. I'm going to read you your latest letter.
I wonder at
thinking
this
that
point,
it
I'd like to
maybe
know
will help.
if it was true for a point and he stopped, or if it was true the whole time. I'd be interested for sure.
Yeah. Once appalled to learn that you had punched and I was appalled to learn that you punched and hurt a girl in your class.
Okay. This is getting
This
a
kid's
little
getting wild. He wants a gun. Everything you've listed, this kid's turning out to be a serial killer.
About blah blah blah. We punished you. You haven't hit anyone since. All my love, Papa. Testing the
That's
sales.
where that one ends.
Say what he punished?
You punched some. You
Do you know what
punched
the
some
punishment
girl.
was?
Well, it just ended. You punched some girl. We punished you. You haven't done it since. Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
Yes.
Because
See
that's
you
something.
next year.
Testing the sales. My beloved Caleb. Not long
How
ago,
old
I
is he?
stumbled. He is 11 at this point.
Okay.
Not long ago, I stumbled upon a document you created on your computer.
Oh,
it was
boy.
titled Rules and Suggestions for Stealing Candy. And sure enough, what followed was a series of pointers on how to filch sweets and get away with it. Rule number 4, for example, advised, clean up after yourself. Don't leave a big mess or others will know that you took something. Remember to close doors, cupboards, drawers, and containers.
Okay. Everything that he's doing is normal, other than writing it in a document, like
Yes.
word,
Yes.
like a document, word.
Like, being curious about that, reading something like that, I could
Yeah.
have seen myself doing that when I was young. But putting it in a document as a list,
Right. Like, I'm trying to think, what is the not Microsoft Word, but I was trying to think of the thing that people would use.
Like Notepad?
No shit. I'll think about it.
Excel?
making a list.
Make it like an
Almost
Excel.
like Excel, yeah,
spreadsheet.
like like a spreadsheet is what I was thinking about. Like every kid does. Although 11 seems a little old for worrying about candy. Like I think by 11, I felt like, not that you didn't want candy, but you knew how to either get it or didn't. Like, you
Candy's,
didn't really.
yeah, you're like candy's for babies. Like I'm into like video games now
Yeah.
and like
Right.
skateboards or something. It was certainly a brazen piece of writing. It was also, I couldn't help noticing, well organized and carefully spell checked.
There you go. There's that.
To your credit, you didn't deny authorship when I confronted you with it. Unfortunately, you didn't seem the least bit remorseful either. Nowadays, it's what comes out of your mouth, not what goes into it, that is more likely to get you in trouble. At times, you seem to go out of your way to give offense.
Is he
spouting
like making fat jokes about this kid too? Like being like, you eat candy, you fat little fuck.
No. He's saying that what he said was what's getting him in more trouble is not what's going into his mouth, i.e. candy,
yeah.
versus
Okay, what's coming
what
out
he's
of it.
saying to his
Okay,
parents.
I thought it was
Out
the
of his mouth.
opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
At times,
Although
you
I mean, he has a spreadsheet for getting candy, so you could make
Yeah,
an
he might
assumption
be a
that he's
bad
probably a big kid.
right, and you know too, like his dad was kind of impressed with that because his dad's like, you know what, like. I know I said be a good person, but the really important thing is that you have all your spreadsheets in check.
Yeah, for sure.
And that everything's organized.
That's the way you're going to make some
Get away
money.
with
Tell you
your-
that.
Yeah, if you're an organized thief.
Because that fortune that he said he was a big deal.
At times,
I mean,
you
dude, anybody that can make a good solid spreadsheet by 11, there's a chance they might have some money later in life, to be honest.
That's
with you.
true.
Yeah.
Not saying they're going to get it in a legal or illegal way, but
They're gonna have
that
it.
Speaks, yeah.
That's fair. I was not making spreadsheets at 11, and I don't have money, so that checks out.
That's all we need to know.
At times, you seem to go out of your way to give offense, spouting ill-mannered comments or mocking jibes that you know quite well are going to provoke a backlash. As a tween, I could be like that too. Time and again, I would pop off, pushing my teacher's buttons with obnoxious remarks or inappropriate wisecracks.
Doubt it. I can't believe it with this guy.
Right. Frequently getting kicked out of class as a consequence. I wasn't nearly so insolent at home where my parents believed in corporal punishment.
Oh,
lived
here
up
we
to
go.
that.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so
Yeah,
there
my
was
dad
one
used to hit
reference
me.
to his dad hitting him. Yeah, that
Wait.
stated.
That's interesting, man. But on the same hand, like he's admitting that even at his age, he was getting like, look, I'm not trying to say anything, because of how, but I actually never got kicked out of class, for example. Like but I wasn't a good kid necessarily. I just didn't get kicked out of class. But my point is, like, this guy's saying, like, he's saying all these things about him. He's like, and then he's admitting that at his age, he was once in a while getting kicked out of class. And it's like, dude, like I said, not to be weird about it, but like, for example, I never did. So my point is, of saying that is it takes something to actually have the teacher kick you out. And so he was doing it, understands that he was doing it, and is still like, oh, but you're a little bigger, you're a little worse than me.
Yeah.
And
I'm
it's like,
not
no,
gonna
you're
lie.
exactly
I got
the
kicked out
same.
of class at 11 years old. I was getting
I don't
kicked out
doubt
of
it.
class on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me. I don't know. You're just a different person that I just wasn't like. It wasn't because I was always not a great kid per se. I just was quiet and stuff. Like, it wasn't like that's all it was.
Yeah, no, totally. You're 11 now, growing steadily more independent and beginning to test your sales. Increasingly, you push back instead of clinging, insisting on your way instead of mine. The day will eventually come when you're ready to head off on your own. Wherever that voyage takes you, Caleb, will always be your home port. My love, Papa. Now, this is the last one. This is called Blessed by an Amazing Community. And this is on Twitter after his son at 14 ran away from home and disappeared for like 2 days.
So he made
Okay.
a Twitter post.
I thought you were about to say kill himself, to be honest with you.
No. No, but he ran away and then it was like
kill somebody else.
then it was a big, it was like a Twitter post. Everybody's like, where is this kid Caleb?
Where's
he's been
Caleb?
writing
Where's
about?
Caleb?
My beloved Caleb, never before has the quality of level-headedness meant quite so much to me as my mind lurched among nightmare scenarios and my gut churned with anxiety. It took an effort of will just to process what was happening. I had no idea how to formulate a plan of action going forward. What are you supposed to do when your teenage son has been gone for hours? 6, 12, 24, 48 hours, and hasn't been seen or heard from? When you've called into the police and given them all the information you can think of? When you've
Even
reached
mentioned
your
that you
child-
worked at the Boston Globe, and that still didn't help.
Yeah.
You tried yelling at the air and scolding him into coming back, and he just wouldn't come back.
When he come back.
He wrote that in there, or did you say that?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm writing to Twitter now because I need somebody to hear me.
Anyway, during the worst ordeal of our lives, my family experienced the best that human beings are capable of. That was a blessing I'll never forget or ever cease being grateful for. All my love, Papa. And then he never wrote another one after that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, at least
Yeah,
at least he
fair.
learned something. I got. At least he finally gave up on it. But
Did he ever find him?
well, someone must have.
They did find him. They did.
Yeah,
find him.
what I assume by that reading is that the
found him
community
in 2
looked for
days.
him and found him and helped him get him back or whatever.
Okay, so
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's the only
I
reason.
mean, I give him credit for
True.
stopping at that point, at least. I mean, it was something, I guess.
okay.
Yeah, I need to stop humiliating my son.
I don't know. I felt like I don't know. That one didn't blow your. That one didn't. You guys weren't as hard on him as I was expecting. To be completely fair.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Eric though that like a lot of the stuff he was saying was, it's parenting stuff, and this kid is getting wild.
I think he said so. I think he should have cut the, worded like I do think he should have worded things softer in these things, or stopped earlier, obviously. But I don't think he was saying things that most parents probably haven't. Lots of parents haven't dealt with, or felt or thought before.
Yeah,
I can only imagine if let's put it this way. I wasn't even like, if my parents had to do this, let's just say they had to do it or whatever, and they'd done things about me. Oh my goodness, dude. Like, even though I wasn't a skipping school kid, even though I wasn't like a smoking in high school kid, I still was a brat.
Embarrassing, and they're going to embarrass you. He's just,
well, no, but I'm just saying, like, if they'd written about me, like the things they could have said about me, like I was a brat and I threw temper tantrums embarrassingly at an older age than I should admit. Like I had kind of a weirdness up until almost after high school, even where I was really kind of a brat.
Oh yeah, totally.
So my point is that I don't think that he was saying. I think he could have done it a little softer, but I don't think he was saying or doing things that any parent haven't thought.
Oh no, totally. Like, what in my letter, it would have just been like Scott, like, you're 10 years old and we took you to Disney World and you threw a fit in the store because we wouldn't buy you a toy you wanted.
Yeah.
Right.
In the gift shop. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Not you little shit Grinch.
Like, I was really, like, here's an example. Like, I was really bad about, I looking back on it, like, I think I had a real high metabolism, so I needed to eat. And I was growing faster than I had little kids, for example. And we went to like Colonial Williamsburg. And, I remember very specifically that at one point, dude, and me and my sister have talked back on this. On the same hand, me and my sister both agree that my parents needed to realize that I probably needed to get food more often. Like, just realize that, dude, he has an obvious issue where he needs to kind of get hangry. But, dude, I went off to the point where my mom had to like drag me out of or I like ran away from them and then went to the car in the parking lot. Like I ran away and went to the car in the parking lot and they had to come there and I was like yelling at them. And it's like, in a lot of ways, that was very bratty material that I can't even imagine dealing with as an adult.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you're me, I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't have a kid anymore. Fine.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Like, this one's a dud.
Yeah. And he's done. We've tried a little bit. He's better on his own.
Yeah. Okay, so this one.
So anyway, Scott, my point is that's why I think even though I'm sure he's a douchebag, even though I am sure that he put way too much pressure on his son, it was harder because I somehow just could still feel like, even though he's probably a big douchebag, this isn't like that girl with a dog was terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she was trying to justify killing her
standard
dog. This
with
guy's
that dog.
Just kind of an uptight dad with a honestly kind of fucked up son.
That's fair. Okay, so here is the second one, and like, I really, especially you, Eric, I really picked this one out as one that I thought you would get a kick out of. I think both of you will, but like, with your love of bad Yelp reviews.
Oh yeah,
this is the worst Yelp review in the entire world.
Is it a Yelp review specifically, or is it something else? And you're just like,
okay, the name of the article is "Getting Coffee is Too Hard to Do."
Oh shit! Here we go. Oh, here's some fucking lady in her UGG boots and her fucking North. I'm wondering if this person dresses in like UGG boots and North Face, and goes to the local coffee shop and has about 10 modifications to her coffee.
No, it's actually the opposite. It is an old man.
Oh, even worse. Just as bad.
Yeah. Who is just like, what is this? I just
can't the coffee just be black coffee?
Can it just be a coffee? Exactly. Okay.
I remember coffee used to be a quarter.
This is by Stanley Fish of the New York Times. A coordination problem, a term of art in economics and management, occurs when you have a task to perform. The task has multiple and shifting components. The time for completion is limited.
The problem I know what this is about already is so troubling because I know what this is about. You almost shouldn't have told me what the theme was, because then I
just let you be surprised by it.
Continue.
Your performance is affected by the order and sequence of the actions you take. The trick is to manage it so that components don't bump into each other in ways that produce confusion, frustration, and inefficiency. You will face a coordination problem if you are a general deploying troops, tanks, helicopters.
What
food,
was the
transport, medical
title
supplies.
of the article or like the piece?
Getting coffee is too hard to do.
Dude, I am so out if I'm reading this. Like, are you fucking get to the coffee?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Seriously.
Yeah, why
What
are
are
you
you-
talking about armies and generals?
I know you're like, dude. You're okay. Go ahead.
These days, you will face a coordination problem if you want to get a cup of coffee. It used to be that when you wanted a cup of coffee, you went into a nondescript place fitted out largely in linoleum, formica, and neon.
Oh
Sat
my
down
god,
at the
even worse.
counter.
Okay, dude,
Oh, yeah,
dude.
why does that matter?
Right. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, you're just a fan of that fucking color like scheme.
Yeah, that
Oh,
has nothing
cool.
to do with the difficulty of getting your coffee. Like,
Of course.
I only know how to walk on linoleum. I don't know how to walk on like wood.
Right. Right. Oh my god, terrible. Go on.
He's a go
Eric's,
on.
yeah,
It's
go
already.
on.
It's like I can't.
I'm so upset.
Formica Neon sat down at a counter and, in response to a brisk "What'll you have, dear?" said, "Coffee and a cheese Danish." 20 seconds later, tops, they'd arrived just as you were settling into the sports page.
By the way, this is the poorest of poorest of poorest man's Larry David. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? The
Yeah,
bottom Larry
Absolutely.
David. Like,
like,
Yeah.
what is the deal with
It's a
these
spite.
floors not being linoleum?
It's a spite article, right?
right, right.
Absolutely a spite article. Just right, silence. Now it's all wood or concrete floors, lots of earth tones, soft,
What
high
the
style
fuck
lighting.
does that have to do with getting the coffee?
Absolutely
Can't
nothing.
get a coffee because of the issues with the color schemes of these places. Like, what is the issue with this?
This is an old man wanting, like, mad that the world is changing, but mad that the world is changing in such a stupid, minuscule way.
Yeah, dude. This isn't. We haven't even gotten to part. I can't even imagine how mad I'm gonna be because this is already so terrible. Maybe this is worse than a dog killer. Honestly, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
Well,
at least
the
that
dog
woman
killer
had
to me-
decency.
going to get
You know what?
Starbucks is worse than a dog
The,
killer.
no, the dog killer. You know, I would never ever be okay with it. But
Dog
like,
killer.
you could. They aren't human, and you could argue if the dog really was as bad as she was saying. This is a dude bitching. We're not even to the part where they pour him the cup yet. We're just on the flooring.
Yeah.
The flooring? Like,
Good to killer.
And never once did he order a cup of coffee and it showed up in 20 seconds tops. That is
No.
insane.
never,
Yeah.
never.
What are you
Is
talking about?
Sonic the Hedgehog
And-
bringing you
or-
your coffee?
Right.
You are getting that coffee, but that's been sitting there for 35 minutes on the fucking thing.
Yeah,
Old
and,
Yeah.
coffee.
and it's within arm's reach of the place you ordered it from.
Right, right.
The place that
Absolutely.
you ordered it from.
And a Danish, by the way, not just like. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Real.
Fucking
Like,
fancy.
hit me with another one.
These are terrible.
I still, he's just describing more of these new places. Open barrels of coffee beans, folk, rock, and indie music, photographs of
Why-
urban
What does that have to
landscapes.
do with the hardness of getting the coffee? Jesus
here's
fuck.
why. 'Cause here's why.
What
Here's his logic.
drive-through?
Here's his logic behind saying all of this. As you walk in, everything is saying, this is very sophisticated and you'd better be up to it.
By the way, you know what, dude? You know what, dude? There are Dunkin' Donuts and there are fucking there are places you can get coffee
That aren't.
that aren't hipster style places.
Yeah.
They're
I can even understand them
100%,
a little
dude.
bit with that.
Tim
with,
Hortons,
Starbucks.
Dunkin' Donuts,
Yep.
even a Starbucks, possibly. Honestly, even because Starbucks, although they're kind of like, yeah, they're just, you know, they're not really hipster Starbucks. Like Starbucks doesn't usually have little, you know, singers in there and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
go
true.
on.
Anything besides a black coffee poured from just his old ass coffee pot is gonna be
Right.
hipster.
Yeah. He wants a little mom and pop shop. It's
It
gonna give him
turns
some
out to
pop.
be hard. First, you have to get in line, and you may have one or two people.
Oh,
Can you
wow.
imagine? Seriously,
I
yeah,
mean, it is old coffee shops. They had lines. What are you
They've
talking
always had
about?
lines. Lines have always been a thing.
Is this guy like
They're like
200 years old
water
when we have
holes in
less
Africa, where
population?
you had to wait in fucking line as a caveman.
Man, this guy would, I don't, does he know there are people on the planet that have to like walk a mile to get food from a ditch? And this
Yeah.
dude.
Like,
Okay, so first you have to get in line, and you may have one or two people in front of you who are ordering a drink with more parts than an internal combustion engine. Something about double shot, skinny, breve, grande, all light, and a lot of other
All
words
right.
that never pass my lips.
No more. No more. Can I tap out? Then a combustion engine. Shut the fuck up.
Seriously, like, and you were so right. You nailed it with the poor man's Larry David thing.
And like a poor man's, like the absolute lowest. Not just, it is not just a poor man's. You have to add multiple pours to it because it's not just, that's still not even enough. Like,
and
this
Larry
dude-
David is self-aware. This man is not.
yeah, that's the other thing. Larry David just takes these things and finds the funny in them, by the way. He's not really usually complaining. What he's actually usually doing is finding these social things that we all deal with. And you know what he does. We're all familiar. So
Yes. I would so much rather be watching an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm right now.
yes,
Okay, if you are patient and stay in line, and then in parentheses he writes, no bathroom breaks. Like, what is that? Give me a fucking break, dude. Like,
here's the thing. Take a bathroom before you go in there. I get it. When you get older, you have to go more often. I understand that. But, dude, give me a break.
You're not waiting in line for a roller coaster.
And where are
right.
you going that these constant issues are popping up?
Honestly,
That's the other thing. You
Yeah.
can't find a place in your area. Dude, you can get coffee at fucking gas stations, McDonald's, at like I said, Tim Hortons. You can't find one place that
Or
just,
even-
this is my place
You could
now.
find a mom and pop shop. You could find a little like boutique kind of coffee shop that would be what he wants. It's
I'm
not
sure he
even, like,
could.
You
completely
absolutely
extinct.
could. It's just that he doesn't want the other ones to exist.
Right, that's the thing. Which, by the way, if they didn't exist, his mom and pop place would have a longer line.
Oh, way longer.
Totally. And I love too that he writes no bathroom breaks, because it's like, at what point did he ask, like, hey, can I go use the bathroom and then just get my spot back in line?
Right, as if you couldn't lean to the person behind you, an old man, and go, hey, it's taking a little long. Mind if I just pop into the restroom real quick? Yes, everyone, 95% of people would. You might get one.
Why would that be a thing that it would be a staple? We have bathroom breaks in line.
Yeah, that's the other. That is a great point.
Using the bathroom either.
No, Tyler just made a great point.
Okay, what?
So this only pertains to coffee. Every other thing you do in your life, if you go to the grocery
Seriously.
store or the Best Buy or the whatever, like
bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, he's like,
the
no,
weird
dude,
thing.
I'll just whip it out and pee in a bottle at Walmart. Like,
right. Yep, that's how you do it. Wow,
If
there's
you're old,
Walmart.
If you're old, do it.
yeah,
And
no,
pee into a
if you're
plant.
old, honestly,
I advocate
urinate
for
wherever you want.
Don't.
Just piss his pants. I mean, Christ.
Yeah, totally. You're gonna get.
If you're
Yeah.
old, you can get away with it.
Yep.
I'll be doing it.
We haven't even got to him ordering yet.
No,
No.
he's in line.
You get to put in your order, but then you have to find a place to stand while you wait for it. There is no such place. So you shift your body first here and then there. Try not to get
Shift
in the way
your
of
body. Yes, we're all familiar with how moving around
Walking works.
works, right?
Seriously.
You just shift your body from side to side to move.
This is,
forward in
you know
line.
what, dude? I'm not even done yet. This is worse than that lady he wanted to kill her dog. I'm sorry. Because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's so, I mean, I can justify in the end putting a pet down that is just maybe a little crazy. And maybe we just didn't hear. Maybe if we saw that dog in real life, we might tell her, like, oh shit, dude, this dog is a. Look, I would never do it, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
maybe we could have, like, but there's no life where I go to this guy's place and I'm like, oh yeah, this is fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, no. Okay,
I mean,
So-
he's literally accounting for every second up until he gets there.
And by the way,
I just-
you know
what
this
are you-
motherfucker's retired. Well, I mean, he writes this whole column, but I mean, he ain't going to the fucking plant or something.
And just in like, I will say, putting down your perfectly healthy dog that nipped at somebody like that lady did, still more rational than pretending there's nowhere to stand after you order at a Starbucks.
Exactly. I'm serious.
Yeah, shifting your body here and there, trying not to get in the way of those you can't help but get in the way of. Finally, the
Oh, he's getting in the way of everybody. I promise you that.
Guaranteed.
Be like, why is
Huffing
who is
and
this
puffing.
old man just man-spreading and swinging his
Yep.
elbows?
Breathing
Right.
heavy as shit. Just
What do I
angry.
do? How do I wait for a coffee?
Yeah, he's saying all this stuff out loud.
Oh, he's definitely telling people next to him,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I used to be able to get a coffee in 20 seconds.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Talking to some some like 20-year-old hipster behind him, just like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, can you believe this place? And the guy's just like, oh, I have no idea. This old man's just rambling at me.
Yeah,
Right.
I go here every day, bro.
Finally, the coffee arrives. But then your real problems began when you
Oh,
turn
the real problems begin. We haven't even gotten to the problems
got
yet.
to the real problems.
now the tricky part comes in. Forget that shuffling around between the order and the waiting. Now the real problems begin.
And the color scheme and the design and everything.
Yes,
man.
and some guy playing music in the background for some reason that affects him.
Bum, 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 ba-da-da,
Right. Yeah.
But then your real problems begin. When you turn, holding your prize, and make your way to where the accessories, things you put in, on, and around your coffee, are to be found. There is a staggering array of them, and the order of their placement seems random in relation to the order of your needs. There is no right place to start, so you lunge after one thing and then after another with awkward reaches.
You do, you old fuck. You do.
I wish I could know where this guy lives so I could watch him go to a coffee shop.
Dude, exactly. I would sit there for hours to just see him for that like little brief time.
Just
They're
angrily muttering and tripping over himself,
Yeah.
like trying to grab a spoon.
20-second coffee.
As if this dude didn't just order a black coffee, by the way.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
Yo,
What
guaranteed.
is, like he's looking for the French vanilla flavoring or something.
Okay, so yeah, you have the awkward reaches. Unfortunately, 2 or 3 other people are doing the same thing, and each is doing it in a different sequence. So there's an endless round of excuse me, no excuse me, as if you were in an old Steve Martin routine. But no amount of politeness and care is enough. After all, there are so many items to reach for. Lids, cup jackets, straws, napkins, stirrers, milk, half and half, water, sugar, Splenda, the waste paper basket, spoons. You and your companions may strive for a ballet of courtesy, but what
that
you end up
overwhelming?
performing is more like bumper cars.
Is that overwhelming for him? Like
Imagine, imagine this man with
finding
his
an
little
option?
clipboard. Just like straws,
Yeah,
spoons.
he's making that list. He's sitting there with it.
I don't even know how to process what I'm
He's
hearing.
like acting like it's like the game Pong when you're trying to like get
I
past
understand.
somebody.
I'll
Fuck
give him. Yeah, I'll give him the same courtesy I gave the other guy. I get it that he's writing an article, so
you.
he is probably wording it a little more
extreme.
extreme than is really
Yeah.
going on, but still,
You
these
keep
are very
you-
clearly thoughts he's having.
And I will say, you keep giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's writing.
I've
an
only
article.
given this guy.
I would
A
swing
little
the
bit.
other way, and only a tiny bit. But I would swing the other way, and I would say it's actually worse that he's being paid to do this.
Oh no, that's worse for sure. I agree with that 100%. I'm just saying, I guess he's doing this article, so he does have to embellish a little.
Yeah, he's definitely filling out that word count by
right.
just doing
Yeah,
an I spy of everything that's in the coffee.
So yeah, he
right.
can get his quota.
Yep. It's just a question of what will happen first, getting what you want or spilling the coffee you are trying to balance in one hand on the guy reaching over you.
Oh my lord, this guy spilled
Dude,
many
he's
a cup.
describing someone
So-
handing you coffee.
Yeah,
That's all he's
totally.
describing. Like the way he put it was very like shitty, but like he's just like he handed me the cup of coffee.
Yeah, I want to talk to the guy that he spilled coffee on.
Yeah,
that
I
guy's
would
side
too.
of the story.
Yeah,
Like,
see
yeah.
what really happened.
I guarantee you, it's like, yeah, this man kept muttering about, he's 20 seconds, 20 seconds. And he was
Right.
just angrily grabbing the spoons and knocking everything over.
Making a list of all the stuff on the table.
Right. I won't even talk about the problem of finding a seat.
Oh, he won't, Willie.
No,
I think he's
he
gotta-
actually does not. But what is the problem of finding a seat?
I mean,
we wanna
I
know.
will admit, at some of these coffee shops, I have had issues in the past because they don't tend to be very big,
Yeah.
and so if you want to sit down, it can sometimes be an issue.
Yeah.
I agree.
I do
But you know,
Did you just leave? Sit in your car.
Yeah.
well, no, but well, here's the thing. I would say,
Go
that for
drink in
me-
the bathroom. Go sit on the fucking
Right.
toilet.
Oh, I would say
Take
for
your
me,
bathroom break and drink.
I'm not really a coffee guy. I usually am going in there for the atmosphere. I'm working on some joke, right? I used to like
Yeah.
to go to coffee shops to like work on jokes and stuff.
Why would you hang out in such a chaotic, insane?
No, I don't
place?
know what I was
Insane.
thinking.
Fucking vibrant colors and earthy
But
tones.
this guy, to me, as if he's going to sit down in one of these hipster places. So I don't even know why that would be a concern. And so it shouldn't even matter to him. There's no way
No.
this dude wants to sit down in this environment.
No,
So
hell no. What is this? We used to have like comfortable wood-backed chairs, and now they got this plastic bullshit. You can barely even sit on it without falling over.
right.
And two things add to your pain and trouble. First, it costs a lot, $3 and up. Okay, I'll give him that one.
yeah.
Gets
Yeah,
one
it is
point.
it is a bitch, dude. I couldn't keep doing it at some of those places. That's why, like,
Yeah.
I used to just try to find the cheap, because I used to I'm a person who doesn't believe in just stealing Wi-Fi. So like if I'm gonna go to sit in Starbucks for an hour, I have to get something. So I ended up just buying like the cheapest like tea they had, just so I could say, well,
Yeah.
I bought something. So I'll give them that. Some of those these things have become like $8. Some of
Yeah,
this
it's-
shit.
seriously.
yeah, I mean, easily,
It's
if you're
absurd.
buying a regular latte, it's like $6.
Right,
Yep.
right. Plus all the
Um,
fat.
Yeah.
Totally. But and worst of all,
You're
what
gonna
you're
make an
paying for-
article about it, Eric?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? There is a real problem with coffee nowadays. No, but and worst of all, what you're paying for is the privilege of doing the work that should be done by those who take your money. The coffee shop experience is just one instance of the growing practice of shifting the burden of labor to the consumer. Gas stations, grocery and drugstores, bagel shops. He puts in parentheses, why should I put on my own cream cheese?
for one, I actually didn't even think a lot of them do it for you. I think.
Yeah.
But two, I don't even mind doing cream cheese, for example, myself, because I like it the way I like it. You know,
Yeah.
they do
I
it
don't want
their
him
way.
throwing a
As long
fucking
as you
ton
give
on
it to
there.
me. Yeah.
And the
good.
fact that he threw gas stations in means, dude, do you really want to sit there? You have to, you know those things, you have to wait for the guy to come out. I never really had to do it. Obviously, we're all not that old, but like you have to wait, and then you have to tip them and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It adds on to the price of itself. So-
I'm not gonna lie. I would love if self-serve gas stations were still.
Why?
they have
You
them
wanna
some
tip
places.
them?
Like, honestly, there are
Or
places where they still
other-
exist, and it's weird because like one of them is like in the state of New York or something, and it's weird because I did one time where it's like I got out and all of a sudden the guy's just there, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess he's doing my gas for me.
Yeah.
But it's like I get it. And then the other thing he said there, I mean, I to some extent agree with that stuff. You know what's funny is all the people,
Kind of.
I
yeah.
can even understand why people get so pissed about like nowadays, like, you know, you go to Walmart and all of them are like self-serve and shit like that, and they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I'm doing my own job. You know, the funny
I
thing?
hate that shit. I remember beggars.
Well, the funny thing
Yeah.
is, I wouldn't do regular checkout unless I was forced to. I always do self checkout. Like I way like it better. Like I feel like I can get
do
in
like
faster.
self-checkout more, but I think it's fucked up. I think it's like
I get it.
taking away from the workers.
Self-checkout is better because you can steal. That's
I
the
actually
main
don't, but it is better
reason
for
to
that if you want to. I actually like it more because I don't use.
discount.
Right. Well, that's true. That's a good point. I like it for a few reasons, but for one, I think it tends to be faster. Two, I don't know, whatever. We can move on about that, but I don't hate it. But my point is, like, this guy, once he brought in gas stations, though, that's where you really know, dude, how old he is. Whether you want it or not, Scott, like, dude. We haven't had like gas stations where someone did it for you has not been the norm for a long time.
Very long
Since
time.
this man was middle-aged.
Other than, like I said, there's certain parts of the
Is he
country where
100?
it stays.
I mean, I'm guessing.
He's in his 80s for sure.
Yeah.
Airline check-ins, parking lots. It's insert this.
Okay,
swipe
dude.
that, choose
Dude,
credit
airline
or
check-ins,
debit.
dude. Give me fuck off, dude. You know how much better it is that you can just go on your phone and do it the night
Yeah,
before.
Totally.
What are you
totally.
talking about? Like,
Yeah.
again, some of that stuff and by the way, that's not taking away from anyone's job, really. In the end,
No.
honestly, like they still
No,
have to
it's
have
just
people at the
confirming
counter
it
because they're
beforehand.
they still have to have people at the counter that would have done that because they have to check bags and stuff. So it doesn't
Yeah.
even take away from a job, and it's so much easier.
Yeah.
Well, it's Sunday morning, and you're probably reading this with a cup of coffee.
No, I'm
I
not.
hope
reading
it was easy to get.
and it was.
It was extremely easy.
So
to
was
get.
yours, sir. So was yours.
Well, yours could have been if you wanted to. By
Yeah.
the way, it could have been even easier.
Go
You
to
could
the
find
drive-thru.
myriad places to go get easier coffee. If you really, if the hipster places really bug you, dude, there are plenty of options out there.
Go to
Getting
the gas
coffee is
station
one
you
of the
rave about.
easiest things to do.
By the way, McDonald's for about a few years now has had like dollar any size drinks or dollar coffee. Yeah, it might have gone away now with some of
Yeah.
this COVID shit. But for a
It's
while
more.
there, though, and I'm guessing when he wrote this, you could roll up to McDonald's and get a fucking dollar coffee, and it could be large. So, and they
Yeah.
guess what? They put all the creams in there for you, motherfucker.
For you, you know,
Yeah,
but
anything
they
you want.
ask you how many you want, and
They ask you.
that
Well, they
might
also
fuck
ask
him
you
up.
what you even want. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he doesn't know what he wants. He's leaving it up to
They don't
them.
just know. They don't just have it right. 20 seconds. And he actually mentioned a Danish when he said it 20 seconds, by the way. It wasn't just coffee in 20 seconds. It was coffee
Yeah.
and a Danish.
And it's just like really what's happening, man, is like you enjoyed life more when you were younger, and you miss
Yep.
you miss
And you
your
miss it.
youth,
Yeah.
and you're transferring all of that onto this.
I hate
weird
change.
coffee.
I mean, look, I get it. I'm getting older to the point where, yes, there are things that I probably have opinions on that are a little old man. It happens to everybody. You cannot avoid it on some level. But there are certain people who can roll with the punches a little better than others. And this is not one of them. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Like, if there was a spectrum between Larry David and this guy, you are heading to somewhere in the middle of that, Eric.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think I try to like I said, go with things but I definitely am starting to have opinions that I'm sure I didn't have 20 years ago. But that's
Yeah.
life, though. That's okay. That is the how life goes. But this dude, this is next fucking level. Like,
But yeah, I had one more prepared, but I'll save it for the next time.
yeah, I was gonna say that's probably good there.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna keep with it. That was worse. This guy was worse than the dog lady. So in that sense, you
Yeah, I'd
you have
say
that
that
to
too.
live up to.
You would
What'd
say
you say?
that too, Tyler?
Yeah, because like
both
Eric
are-
said, we don't know that dog. We know this man.
The
Like-
only thing, yeah,
There are
the
things
only-
about that dog story that, like I said, we don't necessarily know without being there in person. We
Yeah.
don't fully know.
But we
this
fully
dude, there's
know
no-
this dude.
Yeah, there's nothing that I don't have that I feel bad with in
His
making my
life
assumptions
story
about
was
this.
involved in this
Yeah.
fucking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, referencing that a cup
We
of
know
coffee is more
exactly who this guy is.
right, more pieces than a fucking combustion engine. Give me
Yeah.
a break, dude.
Bullshit.
Yeah, no, okay, no, then you take apart a combustion engine and show me how many
Right.
pieces those are.
Versus the
I know what
coffee that you just had.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
But yeah, so
Okay.
there it is. There's the opinion pieces. It's
Awesome.
interesting to me. I would think I would still put the dog murderer above that guy, but I get it.
I
get-
But you understand the
Eric
reasoning,
convinced
right?
me with his reasoning.
I understand the reasoning. I would just say that woman murdered a dog. This guy just wasted our time for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't know that dog, but I know what my time is. And
That's fair. That's fair.
and the thing is, there's nothing more like the problem is what you're gonna get me with, although I love animals. So this is a very, this kind of thing. Not that we none of us do, but I certainly do. But so this is a tightrope, but there is nothing more to me that I hate than a negative person and and a person who's just looking to complain. And like I said, my only reasoning in the end is we fully don't know the dog situation. I know what a person who writes this article is, and that's scum of the earth, if you ask me.
No, I get you on that. I honestly, I don't even think you're wrong with that. I would hate this guy. I would hate if I was working in a place and I had to fucking.
I would hate the woman who killed her dog. Too.
Yeah, I know.
That woman. The difference is, I will.
Maybe we'll have to. Oh, go ahead.
I will say this man will complain and cause a scene and be obnoxious and mostly just grumble to himself. That woman will maybe get you arrested.
That's true.
That would be the one difference.
You know what you might have to do, Scott, by the way, is you might have to keep track of these.
Yeah, and do a
and
bracket.
maybe once you get to a certain amount, then we'll do a bracket.
Ooh,
Yeah.
We should
definitely
totally do that. Once we get,
I just thought about it now because we're kind of already putting the work in, but
Yep. And I was gonna say too. Okay, this guy. Just last thing about this guy too. But like, I was thinking about like, man, happiness really does come from in you, or it doesn't.
Absolutely.
His job is just writing this stupid bullshit for
Right.
the New York Times. He got paid for this. He got paid probably better than any of us have for any single day.
We kind of glossed over that. The New York Times is a very big newspaper, especially. I don't know when he wrote this, but it still is today. But it's certainly at one point would have been. Was this recent or?
This is 2011.
Oh.
Dude, even in 2011, papers were still pretty big. Like
that's pretty outdated. Why would you have him cover coffee? It's like
he'd hate what's going on now with some of this shit. My Lord.
My God, yeah. He's in some hospice care right now. Just
for sure.
Bitching about how Vicodin doesn't hit the way it used to.
Right. All right. Well, that was good, man. Good stuff.
What do we got?
Good.
What do we got next week, Tyler?
I don't know if I should. Okay, wait, I think we're gonna do Akira, a movie that is that I really, really like. But we'll see how it goes because I am either gonna do that or something stupid and fun. I can't decide. Yeah, I might save Akira for something else. But that's what I'm planning for this week.
Okay,
gotcha.
Second week of I don't know. We'll find out. Just
right.
Stuck to our promises.
Yep. It's probably gonna be that, but I might change it up. So if I do, you know.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, yeah, guys. Thanks again for tuning in, and please review us and leave a comment and
like,
get
subscribe,
yourself some free shit. Like, subscribe.
Check out our Facebook page. We'll be having a website come out soon. Check that stuff out. So yeah.